Hey, Teresa Rose.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the Merch Army Show. I'm Jacob Topping. We're broadcasting worldwide. Today we've got Teresa Rose. Teresa Rose, you've been on a few podcasts, a few live sessions, not just in the last little while, but over the years. In fact, you and I have talked live before.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. And there's been, you and I have, and then I've been on many podcasts and webinars and live shows and stuff, probably in the last 4 years, at least, of many different places and topics.
And it seems to me like often when you're doing live broadcasts, there's a common thread. It's all about Pinterest. Is that fair to say?
In the last 2 to 3 years, it's been a lot of Pinterest. Before that, it's been a lot of other topics in e-commerce in general, things where people are interested in or they need more help with.
Now, you've been selling online for a long time.
Yeah. So the business I've been running has been for 6 years total, and I've actually been coaching of helping people get started, helping people understand what to do for the last 5 years, and then out of that resulted with the some discoveries that I found with Pinterest. Then I ended up developing out a second part of the business. So e-commerce is one side. The second part of the business is marketing, specifically with Pinterest. And a lot of the discoveries there that I found, a lot of testing that I've done. And then I ended up sharing a lot of that within my course material that I have continually updated and expanded. And now it's just become into this massive project where there's people in there who are working and they're very dedicated to their business of doing that. So anyways, that's where it all evolved. It started with solving problems, just solving basic problems creatively, and then I turned to this discovery of Pinterest, and it's worked out quite well.
All right, now Teresa, I gotta ask you this because I've been wondering this since I saw it. Is the wood behind you, is that a real wall? Is that like a background? What's going on with that wood?
It is a background so that you don't have to stare at the rest of my place. It's also it's a great way to eliminate distractions, which what I'm finding now is actually it's becoming a distraction because people keep asking me about it. So I may have to get rid of it. The point was to get rid of distraction so that you're not staring at something in the room, but you're actually listening and paying attention. That's a teacher inside of me. After teaching for 16 years, I know how human psychology works. I know how it works to a T, but I've noticed that it's done the opposite, where now it's becoming the main attraction instead of something to not be an attraction, but to actually focus in on the topic at hand.
You've been teaching for 16 years.
I taught for 16 years. I officially retired from teaching a year ago.
What sort of teaching was that?
I did private music lessons.
Okay.
I was the co-founder of a music program at a university, and that was 13 years ago. We started with 24 kids. That was basically our with the two of us. That was our private students that we had at the time, and it's over 3,000 today. So then my season, it was up, and there was a lot of other various reasons. So I officially made the decision to resign and retire from that a year ago, and to push full force on building my own stuff and continuing to build that out.
How do you feel about retirement?
It was it sounds weird to say that I retired from it because I'm not that terribly old, but
your words, you just said I just retired. So I'm just saying
that's what I call it. That's what I call it, meaning that season has ended.
Oh, okay.
And the season ended. They're doing fine, and so I'm not needed anymore. Basically, is what that means. So it was emotional. It was emotional because when you start something from pretty much nothing, from scratch, and you build and build and build and build and build, and then you have to make that decision one day of do I continue, or things change, and you make that decision. So things had changed enough to where the decision was made of let's stop with putting so much time on that, and let's put time on my own things that I want to build, and also helping other people build their businesses. And that's what I've done. I've done this for, I don't know, years and years and years. I had no idea that what my passion was all of this business building going on. I had no idea that I was doing this. I didn't even understand that I was an entrepreneur until much, much, much later. And so in the last 6 years or so, I finally got through to my head of this is really who you are. So then I just started my own business and said I need to build some things for myself instead of for everyone else, because I've been building for a lot of places, profits and nonprofits, and now it's time to build my own and also help continue people build their businesses as well. So there's a lot of history there of the past in general, offline and now online, of continual business building.
All right. So you do you speak in groups of people, or do you do a lot of your training is it one-on-one? Like, how do people connect with you typically?
You're talking about training. So the courses are video recorded.
Okay.
In the main course in Traffic Mastery, but we do monthly live workshops, and they can join me. I give them a link and they join me, and it's exclusive. Okay. So, and then I do record that, so it's added into that main course. So if people can't attend live, that's okay, because not everyone can. It's just not possible to arrange a time when we can all meet together.
Okay.
So it gives them an opportunity to ask questions ahead of time, where I can answer them at the end. The people that are there live, they can ask questions and answer it. But I do teach something that many times it's new information, it's new stuff. This month it's on promoted pins. Our focus is promoted pins, and we're going to get the first campaigns up and going so that they can be firing their first campaign before they're ready for their second promoted pin campaign, and explaining all of what promoted pins is. What is a campaign? What are ad groups? How do you do A/B split testing? All of that. So that material is being recorded right now and is being added to that course. And then we're going to do the live training actually this Thursday with the workshop, so that people can dive in and get a better understanding. It helps me get the feedback to know, is the material understandable? What are the questions? What's happening? How can I make this better? How can I improve? So that's really, really important to get.
Let's back this up. There is a course that you have right now. It's called the Pin Traffic Mastery course, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's delivered online by video, and you have made and designed and been tweaking this for quite a long time, right?
For at least 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so over the last 3 years, you've been making refinements. Now, when I talked to you last time, it was the Pin Traffic Power course at that time, and now it's the Pin Traffic Mastery curriculum.
Yep, it's been renamed. Everything has been pushed into one giant program that includes live training and even private coaching for 1 hour with me to help push the needle forward in the business. Yep.
And how long would it take somebody to take that course? And like, how would they take the course?
I have no idea how long it would take them. I would suggest that you don't rush through it so that you can completely digest the information, and then you need to put stuff into action immediately. So there is 11 modules that are uploaded right now. There's going to be at least a minimum of 20 modules, plus more to be added. Okay. And it is all about how to keep building your business by using Pinterest, and by doing it in a lot of creative and different ways that the typical people don't know about. And everything that I do, I test, and I track it. And I encourage everyone else to do that too as well. So this is the results of a lot of testing and tracking over a long period of time. And this continual of discovering more things that can be done, more things that can be used. But as far as teaching in general, other places you found me, I've been to conferences where I've spoken live, just back from a conference that I spoke at two weeks ago about Pinterest to a lot of people in e-commerce as well. So sometimes do that and do it in person. Many times I do it in different workshops and webinars online. Most of it's online because it's much easier than trying to travel around to do stuff in person. Or on my own YouTube channel, there's tons of stuff there where you can get free tips, free learning, and free training. there as well. So there's a number of places where I'm teaching as far as online and offline still. And I've just basically changed my topic of what I teach. I haven't ever really given up teaching. It's just changed a little bit in what I'm doing.
So I'm looking up your YouTube channel now. I'm going to put a link in the comments of this video. And I'm hoping that YouTube or Facebook doesn't like block the post. I've done a couple of them recently, and 3 of them, for some reason, they got blocked. So what is the name of your YouTube channel that people can get this info from?
It's Pin Traffic Power. Okay. Yeah. And so I do a live video at least once a week and upload it up, sometimes more than that. So you'll get a lot of great information there for absolutely free, because I think it's very helpful to do. And it's very, very useful to have a place where you can go to get updates as well. Anytime that there's changes, algorithm changes, or new things that are being used, you can get a quick update so that you can keep making your own strategy of how you want to use and leverage Pinterest.
Okay, so, and before we hopped on here, you said, hey, Jacob, here's a link that people can use to get to the Pin Traffic Power course. And
it's Pin Traffic Mastery is the name of the course. Yeah. Pin Traffic Power is the name of my business.
See? This is what happens when we don't concentrate on planning ahead of time. This happened very serendipitously. So the course itself is the Pin Traffic Mastery.
That is the actual name of it, yes.
I've put a link to it below. And when you sent me that, I said, Teresa, I've got a group of people. They like to save money, right? And I said, is there a way for us to, like, you know, put in a code or something that people can use to save on the course? And then you sent me a code that's good until Thursday, the 26th of September, which is 3 days from now, right?
Today's Monday.
So we got
it'll be 4 days.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, plus today. Okay, so 3.5 days. And the code is topping 200, right? And that saves somebody $200 off the course.
It does. So it's a big chunk of change.
So if you want to pay $200 less for the course, use the code topping 200, which brings the question, if somebody's watching live or they're watching the replay, they're saying to themselves right now probably, okay, so I can save $200. What is that savings from? What is the cost of the course, and how does that work?
Yeah, so this is an $800 course. This is not for the people who are faint at heart. This is not for the people who are not serious. So this is the exclusive group of people who are very serious about definitely taking their business to the next level using Pinterest, fully understanding it, and trying all of the techniques. It also includes our live monthly trainings. Once a month, you get the live training. Either you can sit in, you can get a seat for live for our hour together of training, or you can watch the replay afterwards. Either way, that's automatically included. Plus, when you purchase the course, you can watch all of the past training material from the live workshops. So as we continue with this and this program builds and builds and builds, you can expect that the price will increase because it is massive. This course is massive. There is a ton in here of everything that you need from A to Z to build your business using Pinterest.
So the focus is really on Pinterest, but it gives you all the things you can use to use Pinterest in your business. So let's say I'm looking at this now and I'm at the website. I'm looking at it. Pin Traffic Mastery, $799 US, right?
Yep. And that is the full program. Yep.
It's the full program. Okay. It's updated for 2019. So I remember when you mentioned to me, this is almost a year ago, you were working on it, and you mentioned you were making some updates, but I see you have made some updates to it.
I make updates all the time. So I actually started this course 2 years ago. Well, back in 2017 is when I launched the first one. And I keep making updates all the time, if at least once a year. Most of the time it's more often than that. And I've turned it into a bigger program, revamped the entire thing based on a lot of the techniques I'd been testing for the last 6 months. So it got revamped again. and adding in huge extensions into the course that wasn't there before. So I did not have a lot of material on promoted pins before. This time there will be. And what I found is that just promoted pins, just that subject is like an entire course itself. So some of the stuff in this program, if you were to take out one module, that's like an entire course right there, that one module.
So can I read through I'm going to read through what's listed here on the site. And then after I go through it, unpack it for me, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Is that fair enough?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, guys. So what is included in the PIN Traffic Mastery course by Teresa Rose? You've got the welcome, module 1, setup, getting your business account up and running, claiming your website, claim your other accounts, add rich pins, complete your profile and settings, auto publish pins. That's just the first module only.
Yeah.
And notice then there's module 2.
Yeah. So in module 1, you can probably get through that in 20 minutes or less. That's going to be a quick module. And there is one video in there that you can get a free preview of. You can actually go and watch it for free right now. So all you have to do is just click on free preview, and that is one of them that's included in the preview so that you can actually get started without paying a dime yet, if you want to.
It's like the little teaser, little preview.
Right? It's a way to get your business account up and running and get it going so that you can do it faster than trying to go and hunt around by Googling, like, how do I do this? Where do I go? How do I get started? You have that video right there in front of you. You can just nail down all of that stuff there and get it done, get it going. And then as you move along, you've got at least that part done.
Okay, I'm gonna read through the modules here again, including all the little parts to them. And hopefully I can spell the word module correctly. Sometimes I'm on the fly when it's a live call. You know this. Sometimes when you're live, you get a little distracted by the process.
Yeah,
I just did that. I was just said module, but I meant modules. The modules. All right. So here's the modules, guys. Module 1, which I just read before. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to go through all the modules with all the in part, side part, and then after that, we'll unpack it. Okay. So module 1 is the setup. The setup gets you get your business account up and running, claim your website, claim your other accounts, add rich pins, complete your profile and settings, auto published pins. That's module 1. Module 2 is broad strategy. So setting up your boards, board planning 1, time-saving hack, board planning 2, what to do with your current boards, avoid this mistake, creating boards, how to create a board. That's module 2. There's module 3, fast traffic, fast keyword research, fast pins, fast pin cheat sheet, fast pins workshop. That's module 3. Then there's a fourth module, module 4. So module 4 is keyword research. Gives you keyword mastery, keyword research 1, keyword research 2, keyword research 3, keyword research 4, keyword research 5, keyword research 6, keyword research 7, keyword research 8. It's a lot of keyword researching, Teresa.
8 different methods.
Yeah. So that is module 4, all about keyword research. Then there's module 5. Another module, module 5, hashtags, talking about hashtags and hashtag research. Then module 6, board optimization, which gives you board optimization and optimize your boards. Then module 7, featuring boards. Featuring boards. So it gives you featuring boards, featuring board showcase, and the profile cover. And then module 8, profile optimization. Profile optimization, profile examples, keyword optimized profile rewrite, how to edit your profile. I'm guessing profiles are important, but we'll unpack this after we go through the modules here. That was module 8. Module 9 There's pin descriptions, which includes pin descriptions and how to write keyword optimized pin descriptions. Module 10 gives you creating pins, which goes over creating pins, pin inspiration, easy pin creation tool number 1, an easy pin creation tool number 2, and then this gets wild, Teresa. I'm reading this. I'm going to read it. Module 11 is promoted pins coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you just mentioned. That's the focus right now, right?
As
Promoted.
of this week, it's going to be dropped in, that training, and we're doing the live workshop Thursday. So if you join before Thursday, you'll be able to sit in. You can get a seat into the live workshop if you want.
Okay. And there's a link and $200 discount code for that. But I don't want to show that just now. I want to show the modules because we're not done the modules yet. There's more modules. Module 11, okay, promoted pins coming soon. So on Thursday. Module 12, Pinterest marketing strategies, it's coming soon. Module 13, Pinterest analytics, coming soon. Module 14, Google Analytics, also coming soon. Module 15, group boards, coming soon. Module 16, board covers, it's coming soon. Module 17, platforms and marketplaces, coming soon. Module 18, sales funnels, coming soon. Module 19, blog posts, it's coming soon. And module 20, affiliate marketing, coming soon. Get in now while you can. The price is about to go up once all the modules are released. So they're not all yet released. So let me ask you, okay, so those are all the modules. There are 20 modules, and each module has multiple parts to it.
That's right.
So Teresa, if somebody joins, let's say I click on the link, right? Because I put the link below. I click on the link. I go and I enroll in the Pin Traffic Mastery course, $799 US. But then the screen comes up and I say, I don't want to pay $799. I want to pay less. So I put in topping 200 because that is the code to save $200 with. And then they pay less than that. They pay $599 instead of $799, right?
Right.
So that's $200 savings right there. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, do they get access to the coming soon modules?
Yes. And all future updates, you're grandfathered in for life. So the people who joined this course, they believed in the course. They believed in me. They spent a very nominal amount of money back in 2017. And now today, they are so thankful that they took that leap and they took that chance.
Those are the grandfathers.
They noticed, they realized that I keep updating and expanding like crazy. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. So once you get in, you're in for life. You automatically get grandfathered in. And it just keeps going.
I want to pause you for a second there. There's this book. It's called Merch in the World of Print on Demand, right? People have heard about it. You've heard about this. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I got it on my bookshelf.
And originally the ebook came out and it was version 1, right? It was the first edition.
I bought that too.
And people got the first edition. It was at that time, it was $57 US. And then edition 2 came out, and everybody who got the first edition, like yourself, they also got the second edition automatically. It just came with it. It was like this grandfathering concept, right? And then the third edition came out, and the third edition, you also got that for free on the ebook, right? And then the fourth edition, and then the fifth edition, and then the sixth edition. And the fifth edition was huge. It was like almost double the book. And you got all of those when you bought the first edition, right? So I know, as somebody who's making content continuously like yourself, it is amazing how much time cumulatively goes into a course like your course or the book, like the book I've written. I actually logged it, and it's over 1,000 hours. So I've put in over 1,000 hours of research for the book. I can't imagine over the last 2 years how much time you've put into the course.
It's not just the time put into the course itself, but the time put into testing and tracking all of this over multiple accounts. I have clients that ask me to run their do their Pinterest marketing and doing various things. And so if they want me to manage it monthly, there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm trying, because I'm trying to push the needle to get that growth to continue to happen month after month after month. So they pay me to do this, and I'm always, always, always testing and tracking. So I've got spreadsheets galore, and I will add those spreadsheets into the course as well for helping you understand where to go to read your analytics and start your own testing and tracking, so that you focus on what works instead of trying to just work randomly. But I will say that I've done all of the heavy lifting for you, and I already know what works. And that's why I keep updating the course, is because anytime that I discover something that works even better yet, you better believe I'm going to get into that course so that people can be successful. And I get them to go back in, you got to try this. You got to try it. So they go back in and they try it. With the fast traffic module, that alone is completely organic. And it is bringing and delivering in traffic. You can find it coming into your Google Analytics within 3 days, those pins, the ones that really take off. It helps pins take off faster, because Pinterest is known to be kind of like a slow burn. You know, it takes a long time. You may not get a pin to take off for 6 months. It's well worth it, because when it does, there is no off switch to a pin. The pin keeps going for years and years and years. It has a very, very long lifespan. So it's much easier for you to actually build your business with pins than it is in other social media sites for that reason. But it does take longer to get things moving. However, I have discovered some ways for you to do that organically a little bit faster. And remember that when you use Pinterest, you want to use a business account so that you have access to your analytics to keep track of everything that's going on and see what's working for you. And a business Pinterest account is completely free. So you doing this stuff on Pinterest is completely free for you to do, which means you get free traffic coming in. Now, if you want to pay for traffic, you certainly can. That's what we're talking about right now to prepare for fourth quarter. But it is based on keyword targeting as well to help keep your CPC costs low. So it's important that you get your entire profile and everything set up properly, keyworded up, because Pinterest is a search engine. So the name of the game there to win is keywords. It's very, very different from Facebook and Instagram. It's not the same as other social media sites, because it's not a social media site. And the name of the game to win at promoted pins is also keywords. So if you've practiced all of this stuff up to that point, then you're ready. You're ready to start trying to run a promoted pin campaign. You can get your cost per click down below 20 cents per click easily.
So 20 cents per click, what kind of conversion would that typically lead to from a Pinterest pin?
So when you're asking about a conversion, are you talking about add to cart conversions? You can track all kinds of conversions, but I don't know what the conversion would be. It's going to depend on your product. So I'm not sure how to answer that question, but you can bid your CPCs down below 20 cents per click, and you can get different types of conversions. You can do sign up conversions if you're trying to build your email list. You can track add to cart conversions. You can track sales, purchases, add to checkout. So there's different types and kinds of conversions, and there's a lot of intricacies involved with it. In fact, I just wrote up a 6-page glossary, 6 pages glossary of terminology to understand with just promoted pins, so that you can get a better idea. So your CPC is called your cost per click. Your click-through rate is your CTR. That's another measurement. And typically anything, it depends on what kind of campaign you're running. I don't know if you're running a conversion campaign or traffic, but you have to start with traffic first, because you need 50 conversions in 1 week before you are allowed to run a conversion campaign. Conversion campaigns are new as of April of 2019. They are really, really effective, but you need to get 50 conversions in 1 week. And you have to keep doing that before you're allowed to run a conversion campaign. So you can't jump in and start with a conversion campaign you're going to have to start with a traffic campaign so that you can start trying to do what you can to get more conversions. That includes, add to cart, includes checkout, includes signups, all of that. So there's different types and kinds of conversions, and it depends on what your end goal is for your campaign. What is your objective, your campaign objective? But in general, there are certain parameters that you want to look at to get an idea of, is the campaign on the right track? Is there some kind of adjustment that I should make to it while it's running? And those are all things that we are covering so that you understand, okay, so if I set a cost per click at 20 cents, typically I pay less than that. So I've got one running right now. It's an A/B split test to test different match types of keywords. One is at 16 cents per click. The other one is at 15 cents per click. Okay. And I've already know after running it for about 12 days which one is a winner. So from that point, that gives me enough information to say, ooh, okay, for your business, what's going to work best for you is this. And I reveal what that test result is. Okay. to that person. So this is with one of my clients, and I reveal that to them, and I say, here is what I recommend. From now on, we're just going to do this for our targeting.
How long would you run a split test before you start to recognize that is the way to go? Like, is there an estimated time period or an amount of clicks that you need to see before you can say one is better than the other?
Typically, you need to let it run for 14 days. It takes a long time. So it's very different from running Facebook ads or Instagram ads. For those, you don't need keywords. You don't need a massive list of keywords because you're not targeting by keywords. With Pinterest, you do. That's your secret to getting your costs down, your CPCs down. Otherwise, you are going to spend a lot of money running ads and not get highly, highly targeted people that you're going after. So it's important that you test everything, even in your promoted pin campaigns. And 14 days has got to be the minimum before you start making adjustments, before you move anything. Because if you cut it short, that could have been a sale. You have to let it go. They recommend that you run a campaign for at least 30 days total. That's a long period of time to keep something running. So it takes, because you're working with a search engine, it takes longer for that data to come in. So I'm not sure how much background you have with Amazon FBA, if you have run manual ad campaigns.
I did most of my stuff organic traffic. So on Amazon FBA, I have sold on Amazon FBA for, I'm thinking almost 4 years now. It might be almost 5 years. Anyways, with my FBA sales, I did primarily retail arbitrage, a little bit of online arbitrage. And my retail arbitrage primarily focused on books. So I wasn't trying to drive a lot of traffic to a particular listing. I was just looking at making stuff available and making it a competitive price. But I know for people that are doing private label or wholesale, keywording and traffic driving is much more core to their business. I think you would agree. And Pinterest can be used to drive traffic to Amazon.
Yes. So most of the people that I coach where they are running Amazon businesses, they are doing wholesale and private label. And that's the stuff that I teach them. And we're also working on their ad campaigns. So what I'm trying to do is help understand a little bit better what a promoted pin campaign is with your targeting. If you're familiar with the campaign ads on Amazon, your targeting can be, you can either do an automatic or you can do a manual ad campaign. Automatic, Amazon chooses the keywords for you. Manual, you choose your keywords, and you need a lot of keywords, okay? And then you can do different types of match types. It's the same thing on Pinterest. But the difference, and there's a lot of similarities there. So Amazon is also a search engine. That's why you're having to do match types, different match types. That's why you're having to do your targeting by keywords. And also, they recommend that you run your manual ad campaign for 30 days minimum so that there is enough data that comes in, because it takes longer for that search engine to get that data to come in for you so that you can make some decisions about what to do. So it's a little bit different, and you really don't want to touch things in your manual ad campaign for at least a couple weeks, if not 3 weeks. So there's a lot of similarities there.
The Pinterest cost per click traffic that you're driving to a place, to a listing, that's going to cost you less than the traffic costs that you would pay on Amazon right now, isn't that? Is that
Yes.
fair to say?
It is very difficult today to get your cost per click in a manual ad campaign in Amazon below $1. If you can get your cost per click on Amazon below $1, you're doing pretty good. Yeah. On Pinterest, you need to get it down below 20 cents at least, and you can do that very, very easily. So you actually save a lot of money if you learn how to run promoted pin campaigns. And it is in many ways cheaper than running Facebook ads and Instagram ads as well. And you cannot do targeting by keywords through that. It's a whole different thing. You target the audience much, much differently. And you typically have to spend a lot of money testing 5 ads at once to see which your winning ad is. And then if you get a winner, you scale it up. So it's you got to throw more money at it to make it work. But if you really understand the keywords, now you know why there's 8 different methods of doing keyword research.
Yep.
Because you got to have it. You got to have it to succeed, and that is what brings in your traffic, because it's a search engine. That's what's going to get your cost per click down in Pinterest as well, because you're going to be targeting that way also through your promoted pin campaigns. So that's why there's such a big focus on that.
Let's back this up a little bit, because not everybody's Pinterest master like you. Like, you've been on Pinterest for a long time, you understand it very well. But a question that somebody might have that's doing print on demand is, can I drive traffic to a print on demand listing on any print on demand platform? Let's say Redbubble, Etsy, Shopify, wherever. Can I drive traffic from Pinterest to a print on demand listing?
Yes.
Can I track the traffic that's being driven from Pinterest to those other listings?
You will only get the information that is inside of Pinterest Analytics. So unless you have your own website, then you can check Google Analytics, where you're going to get some deeper insights as to what's actually happening. And the reason why that's important is because sometimes the Pinterest Analytics are not 100% accurate. Okay. I often find the exact pins that are bringing in traffic in Google Analytics are not showing up in Pinterest Analytics. In fact, last January, I found 12 viral pins in a client account that never showed up in Pinterest Analytics, but they were clearly bringing in traffic. I mean, that is why you want to eventually, as you grow your business and you want to build a brand so that you have some longevity to what you're doing. And you need to get a store up of your own or your own website. Get your Google Analytics going so that you know what works and what doesn't work. So you feel like you're not pinning blind. I call it pinning blind. I don't like to pin blind. I want to know what works so I can capitalize on it.
Did you watch the live video I did with Dion yesterday where she went blind?
I did. I watched part of it. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That was, yes.
I just mentioned it because you're talking about pinning blind, and I'm thinking, man, I wouldn't want to pin blind either. And I'm like, man, I was talking with Dion, and she like literally went blind in her left eye, and it was mind blowing how she got through that. But now she doesn't have to pin blind; she can see with both her eyes now.
Well, and she was trying to do everything in her business. You know, she is the main decision maker. When you have something happen like that to you that impairs you, it's scary. It's very scary because you are the main decision maker in your business. You're the CEO.
Agreed. All right. Now, you had mentioned that I can track my Pinterest traffic going from Pinterest to other places, but I can only see it on the Pinterest side if I only have Pinterest Analytics, which is built into Pinterest, right? But if your platform allows Google Analytics, like Shopify, for example, you can connect it to Google Analytics. But there's print-on-demand platforms now. You can connect those to Google Analytics, right? So, for example, if you're on Redbubble, you can connect your Google Analytics now to that, your Google code. And then Etsy, of course, people love Etsy because you can see the traffic, you can see the search terms, you can see where traffic's coming from and what keywords they're using on the platform. But if you've got Pinterest traffic and you're driving it to Etsy, and you've got Google Analytics on the Etsy side, and you got Pinterest Analytics on the Pinterest side, let me know, how is that magical? How good is that to see where the traffic's coming from and where it's going, right?
So that you can tell what's working and what's not working.
And
so
then
you want to know what are the exact pins that are driving the traffic, because if I know that information, I can go back and decode what I just did. I could see, wow, man, was it these keywords? I bet you it was these keywords. So what I do with the fast traffic method is we're all about testing keywords, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of keywords, and you find your winners. Some of those winners will start showing up as soon as 3 days in your Google Analytics. Some of it will come back to you in your Pinterest Analytics as well, but it doesn't seem to come back as quickly, and it's not as thorough. So you can be checking your Pinterest Analytics also, so that you can see what is it that is working for me.
And you've got then you want to within the course.
Oh yeah, I love cheat sheets.
What's on the cheat sheet?
It's a secret.
No, come on. I don't mean like what's the content of it, but like when you say cheat sheet, what does that mean?
It's the entire method of how to do it. So they go through the videos where I show them how, and then if you've been through that and you just need to print out something, have it next to you, so that every time that you sit down and you say, okay, today is the day that I'm going to be doing fast pins, then you can have a refresher. Go through everything on there and say, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, good, we're here.
But when you say cheat sheet, it's not like you're not cheating, right? You're not like cheating the system or something. This is a quick, fast way to learn exactly what you need to do and to go through it. Is it kind of is it like a checklist?
It's not. It is not. Yeah. You know what? Are you familiar with cheat sheets of what they're called?
Well, people watching, I don't know what they're familiar with. So let me know.
Cheat sheets have been around for years and years and years. It is a kind of like a checklist.
Okay.
Sort of like a checklist. It's a step-by-step procedure. You could say that it is an SOP that is not like every detail in there. It's not a novel. It is the main things that you need to do so that you can go through it quickly.
Like the
so people, kind of like the Cliff Notes. People love to have that information right there in front of them so that they can take action immediately. They don't want to sit and read a novel, and they don't want to watch a video for an hour before they can get out of it the steps. Okay, where do I start? What's step 1? What is step 2? What is step 3? A lot of people are unable to do that on their own to help process the information and put something into action, so I did it for you.
Okay, now you said a minute ago, and I'm just still processing. My processing is a little bit slow right now because I've been staying awake all night because I'm excited about the 30-day Etsy challenge. So you had mentioned you've been running thousands of keywords and testing them, and that kind of information, that data that you've collected for that is in the fast traffic, right? So when you say I've been running thousands of keywords and doing research, like, well, can you explain what that means? What are you talking about?
What that means is I teach you how to do it.
Okay.
Because everyone has a different business. They have different products. They have different things, different niche areas. So I teach you how to test thousands of keywords so that you find your winners. And there were some who almost had some viral pins going right away. It was amazing within a matter of 3 days. And they posted their results in our group, which was pretty cool. Last week, I was doing a private call with one of the members of the course. She was one of the original members. And she said, I almost gave up on this, but I went back through everything again since you've updated and expanded. And I went through the fast traffic module. She says, that traffic is coming in. So now she's looking at...
Can you give us an example of the results? When somebody says the traffic is coming in, can you put that into context? Like, are they getting an extra 7 clicks or double or 300%? Like, what kind of results are they seeing?
It depends on if you're starting from 0. Do you have any traffic? If you're starting from 0, what's going to happen there? I don't know. I can't give you concrete numbers because everyone's business is different. It depends on how long you've been on the platform, how much other pins have you been doing the entire time to know what is your percentage of increase. So if you want to get in some details of some case studies that I've done with my own clients, in July of 2019, I used primarily in that account the fast traffic method. of creating fast pins, and I was able to increase the traffic by 201% in 1 month. All organic.
A 200%
Completely.
increase in 1 month.
Yes, that's what happened in July of 2019.
Okay.
And so, of course, I included that method into the course as I had finally had been doing enough testing. 2 other accounts that I was managing in 2 completely different niche areas. One is a business to business. Another one is a business to consumer. They all had at least a minimum of 100% increase in traffic for that entire month because of the fast pin method. Now, every month, are you going to get huge amounts of increases like that? No, because it depends on the season. It depends on your business, what you're selling. If you're trying to sell something that is meant for winter in the middle of summer, it's probably not going to give you great results. It's just out of season. It's not that time. So instead, you get creative and you think of, what can I do to target the marketing creatively in a way that will work for the summer season? And that's how you capture that audience, and you find out what is the language that they are speaking. That is your keywords. You target those keywords, you get your pin in front of them, and they will start to take action. The engagement will happen of saves and clicks. The engagement that we are looking at that's most important to us is the clicks. We need to get people to click through that pin so that they go over to your website. They go over to wherever it is to see your product, to see your blog post, wherever that is. So anyways, that is part of the organic method that helps to bring in quite a bit of traffic. And as you keep building and you keep getting more and more pins out there, the more that percentage of growth increases. Now, if you just say, I did 10 pins that are fast pins, that's testing 10 keyword phrases, and that's all I did, you're not going to get 100% increase in traffic growth. That's not enough. That's not enough.
You said the organic method is just one of the methods. We're talking about keyword research. So you had mentioned earlier there's 8 different keyword research methods that you go through in your course. And the organic method is just one of them. And you can literally use the SEO power on the keywords to organically attract traffic to your pins, correct?
So all 8 of those keyword methods of finding keywords, where to go to find keywords and discover them, that is all organic. Then you need to take that same method and use it in your promoted pin campaigns. So it's important for you to do things in the right order through the course so that you have a deeper understanding. If you join the course and you skip to promoted pins, you'll have to back up and get everything else keyworded up. Because when you put a pin out there, the information from your board and from your entire profile goes along with the pin. And the purpose of that is to help the search engine understand what your pin is about. So if you did not take the time to optimize your profile and optimize your boards with excellent keywords that are relevant to your pin, Pinterest is confused. It's a search engine. You have to tell it what to do. And how you tell it what to do is through your keywords. So if you don't do that part, and you're going to see that you're not going to get a very good result from your pin, both organic and paid. So it's really, really important that you do that foundational step first before you move to promoted pins. And what I find is that most people want to skip to promoted pins, and then they say, man, this costs a lot of money. Why is my cost per click so high? And I say, because you don't have anything optimized. You just confuse the entire search engine. It doesn't know who to show your pin to.
So doing things correctly can dramatically reduce your costs, right?
Well, yeah. The only one that you are hurting is yourself by trying to skip ahead or push through things too quickly or too fast, or somehow you're looking for an easy button or some way to get ahead. You do have to take a little bit of time to do some things first so that you set up your foundation. Once your foundation is there in the search engine, it understands what you are about, who you are, what your brand is about. It understands who to show your pins to.
When
so that you
Pinterest
get it to the right
understands,
audience.
when Pinterest understands, then it works better for you.
For most search engines, it does. Yes, just like the Google search engine. So you can think of Pinterest like Google, but it's a lot easier to master. You can master it a lot easier and a lot faster than you can Google.
So Teresa, a lot of people are familiar with Google, right? It's a search engine. It uses words. It's not so visual. A little bit of visuality to it. It's got the new cards and things like that. So you type in something that you're looking for, and it gives you search results, right? Pinterest works the same way. You type something in what you're looking for, but it doesn't give you like text results. It mostly gives you images, right? It's an image search engine.
It's a visual search engine. Yep.
A visual search engine.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say visual search engine, you don't mean like, here, I'll upload a picture into Pinterest and it'll give me results. You mean you type in words and it gives you visual results, right?
It gives you images that you can interact with. You can click on that image if you want to know more information.
And they can take you directly to a listing on another marketplace.
That's right.
And you can buy things directly inside of Pinterest now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
how long
you
is that
can
available for to purchase within Pinterest.
Within Pinterest, no. Buy the buyable pins was removed last fall and was replaced by product pins. It's a type of rich pin. So what happens is you are directed, when you click on a pin, you're directed to a website. You're directed to wherever you want that URL link to send people to. So it's up to you to make sure that you put in the proper URL link of where you want to send people if they click on your pin. So once they go into wherever it is that you have.
Can that be a short link, or does it have to go directly to a listing somewhere?
You don't want to use shortened links. You don't want to use bit.ly links. You don't want to use broken links. That can be that can pick up in the spam filter as spam. You always have to have full links in your URLs. It's a lot safer if you do that.
And since Pinterest gives you the analytics, you don't really need short links, right?
I don't know why you would want short links, but organically it's okay. If you are running promoted pins, it's banned. They will not approve your pin if you're trying to run a promoted pin and it's called a cloaked link.
Okay.
Or if it's a shortened link, you won't get approval. So I would say because of that reason, in general, I would try to always use the full links. Because if they are going to that extent of not approving pins in a promoted pin campaign because they're cloaked or they're shortened, chances are they just don't like them. So I would say don't even do it organically either. Just use the full link.
Pinterest likes full links though.
I would, yeah, because it wants to know, where is this going? You need to be transparent.
So let's say I've got a listing on Etsy and it's got a beautiful mock-up, maybe like an autumn mock-up, and I'm selling something targeted like a Thanksgiving mug that somebody would use for Thanksgiving as a gift, right? And I've got a product shot sitting on Etsy, and now I want to set that up inside of Pinterest. I would upload the image. Do you recommend uploading the image directly from Etsy, like the same image or a different image? Or something unrelated. And then once you've got whatever the answer is to that, when I link it to my listing, do I link it directly to my listing, or is there a different way you would do that?
Okay, let's answer the first question first. Do I upload the image from my Etsy store of a product directly into Pinterest? Absolutely not. You need to create a pin that is the minimum pin dimension sizes. So that changes at least once a year. Currently, it is 1,000 by 1,500 pixels. And also, you need to have some other stuff on there to tell people what your pin is about. So Pinterest does read text on the pins. It is that smart. It's called a smart feed for a reason. It can read the text on your pin. You really need to put text on your pin. That is your keywords. That's another spot for those keywords to help the search engine know, what is this about? So you need to help people understand that it is a product that is for sale. You can buy it. And hey, you can buy it here. Get your logo on there so that they understand, what you are about and do your branding. That way, they could even check out your branding on the pin itself and even go to Google and type it in if they want to find you. You know,
So
there's a number of ways.
So you're saying, let's say I've got an image. So let's talk about this mug on Etsy, right? And the mug on Etsy has its own product listing on the Etsy side. But on Pinterest, I could say, for example, my logo, like this live video has the up here, Merch Army logo, right? You could put that on the image that you upload into Pinterest. And then you could also put text, and Pinterest is smart enough to read the text that's inside the image, or are you putting text on top of the image?
On top of the image. It's called a text overlay.
Okay.
Yeah. And I often call it a pin title, creating your pin titles. And that's what you're testing. That is your main keyword phrase that you are testing in the search engine to find out how you can get some great results. So the obvious way to get more attention to those pins is if you choose keyword phrases that are very, very low competition or have zero competition in Pinterest. And there's ways that you can find that information out. So once you do that, now you have a way of testing those keyword phrases and get them on top of your pin. That's going to be very, very important to use as part of the pin itself to get as many pins out in front of as many different people as possible. And there's 300 million active users monthly on Pinterest. So you got to get a lot of pins out there to keep getting the right people. So if you were pinning,
hold on, Teresa. Not everybody's a numbers person, right? You just put out a number here. I'm going to put it in writing so people can get this because I think it's worth mentioning. 300 million active users.
Yes, that's an upgrade from the 250 million that happened before they filed the IPO in February. So it is publicly traded on the stock market.
What's the IPO?
PIN. PIN is on the stock market. That's how you can find the stock. But the IPO was filed back in February, what was it? February 21st is when it was filed, and it's a public traded entity.
So I love publicly traded companies. And one of the reasons I love them is because they have to publish public results, right? Like quarterly results.
They do.
And those quarterly results, they're not like private secret results. They're public results. And they're meant for shareholders, people that invest in the company. They tell you how the company's doing, right? How are we doing? Are we making money? Are we losing money? What are we doing? What are we planning to do? That kind of stuff. So you're telling me Pinterest had an IPO this year, 2019, and it's publicly traded under the symbol PIN, P-I-N. Right?
That's right. Yep.
So if somebody wants to, let's say, I'm just putting it out there, if somebody likes to do research and wants to find out, how crazy is this? Like how much is going on over at Pinterest? How much dollars are flowing through this? How many people are using it? That type of information. They might want to check out the publicly available quarterly reports on Pinterest.
Yeah, it's fascinating to read.
All right, so 300 million active users.
Yes, so it increased, obviously. So that means that the stock is doing very, very well. And that was my feeling, is that once I got that IPO filed, this has been talked about for the last 2 years, and once it actually happened, there would be an increase of users because people are simply interested. They are not as familiar with a platform. So it did drive in a big increase in a short amount of time of new users on the platform. So I think that's important to understand that it's going to continue in this trend over time as the search engine just keeps growing and growing.
Now, I'm probably wrong here, but I'm going to guess. The last time I looked at Pinterest information, some data, I was looking into it. Who uses Pinterest, right? When I looked into it at that time, it was predominantly used by women more than men. Is that correct? Is that true? Like, how true is that?
Yeah, it still is used mostly by women, more so than men. However, there is about 40% of the new users on Pinterest that are registering accounts are men. So there is an increase of men using Pinterest, at least in signing up for the Pinterest platform so that they can use it for their own personal use. There was an increase there by 40%. However, predominantly women are using the platform. But the important thing to note there, if you are selling products, you want your brand there because there are women using this platform. And women are usually the decision makers when it comes to buying things in the household. So the women buy stuff for their men. And it's important to understand that.
Hey, Tara.
Yeah.
Women rule the world. I love that.
Can you come here for a second? Teresa's talking about you. Come over here. All right, sorry. You mentioned women make all the buying decisions, right?
They typically make a lot of decisions when it comes to buying things.
I've got a woman live here in the room. Can you come here for a second?
No, I'm not going on camera.
All right. I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Oh, geez.
All right. Teresa just said that women make the buying decisions, and I just want to verify that. So so hold on for a second. This is a live call, so if you have questions, you can put them in the comments.
Hey, Jacob.
Watching the recording, that's fine. I got a question for Tara.
She's right.
Hey, Tara.
She's right.
Since you do all of our finances, and I no longer have access to our bank account for some reason, even though
That's your
you say that I
choice.
can.
That's your choice.
Who would you say makes the buying decisions in our household?
Both of us, because we both agree on stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, Teresa, I just heard it here from woman in the household who has all the bank cards and doesn't let me use them.
You have the bank cards.
Oh.
I don't have access to the accounts.
It's on your passwords on your computer.
Okay. So let's make this easy. Yes or no? Do women rule the world? Do you make all the buying decisions or not?
No.
Okay, so all the purchases you're doing on Amazon, am I secretly doing those with you?
I just don't ask you.
Oh, okay. She says she's not making the buying decisions, but she doesn't ask me. So there's some kind of essence, or some kind of spirit running through her hand, making the buying. Okay, another question. Have you ever used Pinterest?
Like daily.
Daily?
Yeah.
Do you have like an app, Pinterest app?
Yeah.
Your friends use Pinterest?
All the time. We tag each other on stuff to show each other.
Okay, new insights here. Teresa, clearly I'm not a heavy Pinterest user. I'm just going to put it
so much
out
good
there.
stuff on there to buy.
You can share pins.
Yeah.
Teresa, you know about this sharing the pins?
You can share boards, you can share pins, you can even get pin codes where it's a barcode that goes direct to your board or to your profile. It's called pin codes. It's kind of new this year. So for a lot of the larger businesses that I've talked to.
Teresa says there's a pin code that you can use.
Yes, you can use pin codes.
No, I haven't used that, but
okay.
It's
Teresa,
great for
what is it?
A pin code is you can get it for your profile or for any board.
Okay.
And it is something where you can open up your Pinterest app on your phone and you just scan it like a barcode in a way. It's called a pin code.
Like a QR
and
code.
It pops up your profile or your board. Now, who this is really great for is if you are trying to get this on your product packaging for your brand, you may want to direct them to a board that has all the rest of your products in it so that you can get an upsell on the back end of that product, you see. So it's not always, this is part of a sales funnel training right here. It's not always about just selling the product that is immediately in front of the buyer. Your end goal really is to have a sales funnel where you can show them everything else that you have to offer so that you can make continual sales from that same shopper. So put your PIN code on the packaging, on a slip or piece of paper that you include with it. And when they scan that PIN code, they can go and look at everything else that you have to offer so that they can continue making more buying decisions. If they made a purchase from you one time, the probability has increased dramatically that they will buy from you again. So it's much easier for you to retain a loyal shopper and nurture them and get more and more sales from them. It's much easier to do that than it is to get new people into your sales funnel. It's a lot harder to get new people into your sales funnel.
We call those repeat buyers, right?
Yes. So it's much easier for you to build this loyal following of fans, of shoppers, of people who really love what you're doing on Pinterest. That is your targeted audience. So pin codes is one way. I've talked to a lot of the larger companies about this with the CEOs and the COOs, of some great conversations with them to help give them a better understanding. And pin codes is one of them that I share with them, so that if they have their products in a retail brick and mortar store of their own, or maybe it's on a product shelf somewhere else, they might want to consider adding the pin code on the price tag on the shelf, so that people can open up their Pinterest app and scan it, and boom, we got all the products. Now we can go shopping and we can pick up more than just that one product from that brand.
I'm
So
starting to piece together, Teresa. You're starting to, the gears maybe where they were stuck, and now you're unclogging the gears a little bit. So
yeah. So it's like a barcode.
So I'm in Target, right? I'm in Walmart. I'm in Home Depot. I'm in places where people go to buy things sometimes. Like if they accidentally forget, they can just buy everything through their phone and have it delivered to their house. They might accidentally show up physically in a brick and mortar place, right? They're walking down the aisle. So I'm at Walmart, walking down the aisle, and I want to buy some Kraft peanut butter because I want to make peanut butter cookies for the holidays, right? And maybe Walmart, just a theoretical example, maybe Walmart puts a PIN code on the product shelf with Kraft. Now, would Kraft do this, or do you think Walmart would do that? Who would be the person doing it?
Well, that would, if it's in a Walmart store, Walmart is the one who they are the decision makers on what's included on their shelf space. Okay. So if Walmart does not choose to do that, you put it on the product packaging of your product. So when people pick it up, they scan it with their Pinterest app. Do people use a Pinterest app in Walmart? Absolutely. I saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they do.
All right. So I'm Kraft. I make the peanut butter. I put it through into Walmart. It's sitting on the shelf, and it's like, I don't know, the regular size, whatever the regular size is for that area. It's on the shelf, right? Pinterest buyer walking around, 300 million Pinterest users active. So they're out there like secret sleeper agents. And and they're out there with their mobile phones. Most people have a smartphone now. And they pick up the peanut butter, and all of a sudden they recognize the pin code because they're Pinterest addicts, right? Or maybe not. Maybe they just love Pinterest. And so they scan the code on their phone, and all of a sudden, boom, Kraft shows them, not only do we sell the peanut butter in this size, but we have 3 other sizes. Check out the selection of peanut butter on our Pinterest board, and somebody might, think about, oh, I have a party. I want 1,000 jars of peanut butter. I don't want the small jar. I want a bigger jar, right? And then they go home and they click on the pin like somewhere else, and then they can buy the peanut butter directly from Kraft. They
can pick it up in the store while they're there.
Oh, maybe they scan it. They say, not only do we have peanut butter, but we also have nut-free peanut butter for people with a peanut allergy.
Yes.
And it's on aisle 6.
So you can use the pin codes is great because it takes the offline activity and moves it in a way where you can market more of your stuff. And that's important for brands who are trying to get more of their products out there. So what I'm talking about is on a big brand level of getting this stuff on your product packaging. And I've been trying to teach a lot of the bigger brands to do this.
I think General Mills needs to do this. Pepsi needs to do this.
They all need to do it. A
lot of products, right?
They all need to do it, yes.
I go in to get regular Pepsi, but in a different store that's not offered where I am, they've got, vanilla Pepsi or cherry Pepsi or banana Pepsi.
Yeah, it just shows that here is everything that we have to offer. If you happen to be in a store, you may walk around to try and find it and add it to your physical shopping cart. If you are just looking through the app, you could also at the same time add it to your virtual shopping cart by clicking through the pin to go over to their website or wherever it's leading you to and see, okay, where can I buy this? If I can't get it at Walmart, I still want it. Where can I go and get this? Where can I go and buy it?
So that is promotions or couponing, right? Could they put a pin code on the peanut butter and then say, scan this code, and all of a sudden it directs you to 30% off, or buy two and get
the pin code takes you to a Pinterest profile or a Pinterest board. That is it.
But couldn't you put a coupon on the Pinterest profile or board?
You could put a coupon code in the board description if you think people are actually going to read it. A lot of people don't.
The actual coupon,
and you can put, you can create a pin, and the image of the pin would be a coupon code.
It could be the actual coupon that they scan at the cash register.
Yes, so they could, you wouldn't be able to do it inside of a store. No, a physical store. It would be the coupon code that would work for in your online store. So okay. you could, I mean, there's no way of we'd have to turn that into a pin. You'd have to create a pin.
Yeah, I mean, you pin it. There's an image in a pin, right? And there's text in a pin.
Mm-hmm.
So the image could be the coupon with the barcode on it, and then they scan it in the store. It brings up the pin. The pin is a picture of a UPC, and they scan it at the cash register, right?
You can't scan a pin.
There
is no UPC on a pin. You can't. That's not a pin code. Only goes to a board or profile.
But are you allowed to upload an image of a UPC code?
You can, as a pin within the board.
Yeah.
So if they can find it amongst all the other pins in that board and it's not expired, then it might work well for them. But short-term sales don't work as well in Pinterest, because Pinterest is a very, very long term. It's a long game thing. So it needs to be a coupon code where you're willing to do that for the lifetime of whatever it is that you're selling. Because other people are going to save it, and there is no way for you to try and track down all those pins and delete them or get rid of them. There's just no way.
Now you said Pinterest is for the long term. So let's say I've got a pin and I'm running it on an item in my print-on-demand store, and then I want to switch my store. So now I take that down. How do you cancel a pin? Like, can you delete a pin? Do they live forever? Or
you can only delete the pins that are inside of your account. There is no way for you to delete the pins that are now in thousands of other people's accounts, because they saved it to their account and their boards. That you don't have access to.
So if I make a pin and somebody else pins it on their board, and then I delete the original pin, the pin that they put on their board continues?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's very interesting. So,
so you could still have thousands of pins out there, even though you deleted it from your account. It is now housed in all of these other accounts and all of these other boards inside of these other accounts. So that's why these pins last for years. Even if you delete a pin, someone else has probably saved it. Guess what? It's still alive. That pin will keep going. That's why I say there really is not a true off switch.
So you want to think about exactly what you pin before you pin it the first time, right?
You got to be very careful, because if you're doing something for the short term, this is something that is for potentially a lifetime. And if you pin something, let's say you create a product and now you no longer sell that product, you never want to delete that product page. Why? Because you got thousands of pins with the URL link driving directly to that product page. It is sending you free traffic. You don't want to try. There's no way you can hunt down all those pins and get rid of them, because you can't delete pins out of other people's accounts. So the only thing and the best thing for you to do at that point would be to replace with a similar product. Keep that product page active, but replace it with something similar, and do not change the URL link.
If I edit a pin, does that edit carry through to other people's pinned boards?
It only edits that one pin in front of you.
So do you recommend putting the price of something on a pin as the pin overlay?
No, because if you have rich pins, it does it for you automatically. So every time, that's the purpose of rich pins. A type of rich pin is a product pin.
What about inflation? Let's say the price changes and somebody had pinned it at a previous price. Does that cause issues, or?
No, that it's automatically updated through the metadata that is included within the rich pin. So what rich pins does is it pulls in metadata.
Yeah.
One piece of that metadata is the actual current price, and that's updated regularly. So if you raise your price, if you lower your price, it's updated automatically, and it's right within not just your pin, but all of the pins associated with that product.
Okay, so if somebody else pins my product and it's on their board, I can delete it and it's still on their board. But if it has a rich pin information and I edit it on my side, will it make that change across their boards as well?
No, it only edits the pin in front of you. So metadata means that any pin from that page will automatically be updated across all pins on Pinterest, whether you pinned it or whether a shopper pinned it. And that metadata on a product pin includes the current price, whether it's in stock or out of stock, the current availability, and then the first few sentences of the product page itself, which is important that you have keywords there.
Hold on. So the answer to the other question is yes then. So if, let's say I've got a pin and I've got my metadata on my back end, right? And then I update my price and the rich pins updates the metadata. Then somebody that has pinned the original pin with the first price, it will update automatically on their pinned.
It will, but the original question was, if I edit the pin, will it change all of the other pins that are out there? No, when you edit the pin directly on Pinterest, it only changes that pin that's in front of you. If you edit your product page and you change the price within your product page, automatically that metadata comes through to all of the pins.
Oh, I was confused. I thought you were talking about metadata on the pin. You're talking about the data like on the place where the pin goes.
Yes. So
okay. So I've got something on Etsy and it's, I don't know, it's $29.99 and then I put it on sale for $25.99. Etsy is going out to that link and catching the metadata to where the link is going, and then bringing that back into Etsy. And so, of course, if the Etsy price changes, all my pins are automatically updated.
They're automatically changed instantly like that. Boom.
That is going to save people a lot of time.
Yes. But you need to make sure on Etsy that you have claimed your Etsy account in your settings so that you have rich pins. That is a newer feature. So you can now get rich pins with your Etsy store.
Do you have to connect it on the back end inside of Etsy?
Yes.
Okay.
There may be some things that you have
nobody's
to
gonna go and claim my
that.
store elsewhere.
Actually, you don't have to do anything just to get the rich pins. All you need to do is just connect your Etsy account to Pinterest within the settings inside of Pinterest, and that literally takes you like 10 seconds to do.
Hold on. What happens if somebody connects my store to their Pinterest account?
How can they do that? They would need to know your login information to your Etsy store.
Okay, so the connection is done on the Etsy side to Pinterest.
No, the connection is on the Pinterest side, inside of your Pinterest business account that only you have access to, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you're not sharing your login information with anyone.
No, don't share that, yeah.
When you go into your settings, you have to connect your Etsy store, which you have to then log in to your Etsy store. So only you have access to your login information.
I got you.
And then connect that to Pinterest.
See, you're a very good teacher.
So when you have that
on the back end side and I add my stores to my Pinterest account by claiming them, that's what you're talking about by claiming them. So I would put in my Etsy username and log in Pinterest, and then it's connected, right?
Yes. So then you have rich pins.
For multiple shops? Like let's say I have 3 or 4 shops on Etsy, I can connect each of them?
It'll connect one per business account. So, and most likely if you have multiple Etsy shops, they're all going to be a different niche, a different topic, a whole, they're a different subject. That's why you've made it a separate store. So then you need to open up a separate Pinterest business account so that you can connect that Etsy store and keep the focus of that brand centered in your Pinterest account around the brand of your Etsy store. So you don't, in that situation, you would not want to try to house everything under one Pinterest account because you've got 2 separate stores. So you can connect one store per Pinterest business account.
Now I've got more than 20 print-on-demand stores across more than 20 different platforms or marketplaces. So I would connect sort of my favorite from each of those to my Pinterest business account, and I can connect lots of them, right?
No, you can only connect, you can claim your own domain name. That could be to your store or your blog.
Okay.
Whatever website you have, that's your main connector. Your other settings on the back end to give you rich pins includes Instagram,
Okay.
Etsy,
Yeah.
and YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube is very, very powerful. The video pins do really, really well.
So Instagram, Etsy, and YouTube?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so I wouldn't connect it to my Redbubble listings or to my TeePublic listings
No.
or anybody else?
There is no direct integration between Pinterest and Redbubble or any of the other sites as of to date, unless Pinterest is able to work out a deal. Nothing exists at this point. So what you would do instead is set up your own website, set up a blog, do a sales funnel within a blog post, write about your products, teach people how to use them, how they solve a problem, what to do with them, put links that are directed over to your products within any of these platforms, and then claim that website on Pinterest. Now you have rich pins.
Can I only claim one website, or can I claim more than one website?
One website per Pinterest business account.
Can you have more than one Pinterest business account?
Yes.
Can they all be tied to a single email, or do they have to be
No,
separate?
you have to have a different email address for each one. Yep.
Okay.
But you have to be careful that you don't overwhelm yourself of trying to do too much. If you are selling across multiple platforms, it would be a lot easier for you to do one website where you write blog posts as your sales funnel. That's how you take cold traffic and warm it up anyways. Because not very many people will buy a product that's thrown at them. That's cold traffic to a product, very difficult to get a sale. Warm traffic to a product, much easier. So the best way to
I want to microwave my traffic.
You need to write blog posts, and within your blog posts, you take links, and you can put links to the products of all of the different places where they can find your products. That would be so much easier for you because all you have to do is change the link. If you decide one day that I don't want to sell on Redbubble anymore, and you take down everything on Redbubble, no problem. Just change the links inside of your website so it's not directing the traffic from there over to Redbubble. So it's better for you in the long run to direct traffic to your own site, your own territory of what you own personally, and then you can control how you want to direct that traffic from your own site. Also, if you're going to do all of the time and work and energy, you might as well benefit from it 100% by taking that traffic and sending it to your own website first before you direct it over to wherever it is that you want to go. You can also build in other streams of income as well by having affiliate products included. You can do links to your favorite courses that you're an affiliate of, or your favorite ebooks, or whatever has helped you, and you tell people this. You can become an affiliate of thousands of products out there that are other people's products. So even if you don't have your own product, you can make money. You can make money doing this by just directing the traffic appropriately. When you direct the traffic to your website, now you got Google Analytics to know what's working and what's not working. Then from there, you can move and push that traffic out to go wherever you want it to go. But you have full control now. And if you decide one day, I no longer want to sell these products, I'm changing my whole focus, no problem. It's a lot easier for you to go into your website and change all of those links to your products than it is for you to track down thousands of pins. You just won't be able to do it.
Let's back up the truck a bit here. I can connect my business Pinterest account with a direct integration to a domain name, my own website, to my Instagram account, my Etsy account, and my YouTube account. There's 4 ways to connect. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Just recapping there.
Hmm.
So let me ask you this, because I know you and Pinterest are intimate. You know Pinterest well. So you have like a deep
Okay.
knowledge of Pinterest. That's what I'm saying. So why is Pinterest so cozy with Etsy? Like a website, I get that. People can put whatever they want on a website, can be anything. Instagram, I get it. It's very popular. Maybe a similar audience to Pinterest. YouTube, I get that. It's very large. It's also like a search engine. What's the deal with Etsy? Why does Pinterest like Etsy so much?
Because there's a lot of people searching for things on Etsy while they're on Pinterest. So when there is enough searches that happen from Pinterest users, Pinterest pays attention to what's being typed into their search engine. They make note of it. And if it's strong enough, they will make efforts to try and reach out and connect with the decision makers on that platform and say, hey, can we do a direct integration? Because we have a lot of people who are searching for things to buy on Etsy. So if we can do that, we can get some metadata pulled in so that all of these Etsy stores can now have rich pins. And people are going to be able to find what they're looking for much, much easier.
Direct Etsy integration.
Mm-hmm.
With rich
Yep.
pins, which are grabbing metadata off of your Etsy shop and bringing it into your Pinterest
Mm-hmm.
pins.
Yep. For as long as you have your Etsy store.
And if I stop Etsy, I don't know why somebody would stop Etsy, but let's say somebody stops Etsy for some reason, you just unconnect it on Pinterest?
You can if you want to, yeah. Yeah. Now,
Okay.
just know that you're going to have thousands of pins out there that are still working. They're still driving traffic in, but that is now broken links across all of those pins. And what Pinterest has now been doing is they put up a warning to stop people from clicking through the pin because the link is broken. So they're doing this warning and they're discouraging people from clicking through because the link goes nowhere. Those are all broken links. So that is all traffic that you've now lost. A ton of traffic that you've lost. So before you close your Etsy store, think long and hard about it. Is there any way that you can just sell different products? Is there any way that you could just change your focus, change your brand? Try that first before you shut it down.
You could edit a Pitsy, an Etsy one. Pitsy doesn't exist. It's
Yeah.
Etsy and Pinterest. Okay, so
yeah, you can edit
it would
your
be better
Etsy store.
to edit the Etsy listing than it would be to end the listing.
Yes, it's better to always try to edit and change the product within a product page rather than to delete it. That's the worst thing you can do because on all of those pins, they're broken links. Now, I'm not talking about just the pins that you've been creating intentionally. I'm talking about all of the shoppers who have been inside of your store and they're pinning out the images within your store. This is what happens. That's your free marketing that happens. So there is nothing you can do about that because those shoppers are coming in and they're pinning whether you want them to or not. It's happening.
What about like a pixel? Can I track traffic going into my Pinterest account from externally?
So you're talking about a Facebook pixel that you would use for running ads?
Let's say I'm using other social media to drive traffic to my Pinterest pins.
Right. So a Facebook,
kind of like a Pinterest pixel.
Yeah. So a Facebook pixel is for when you are trying to run ad campaigns on Facebook. If you are running ad campaigns on Pinterest, it's called a Pinterest tag.
Okay.
And you have to get that installed so that you can do some tracking.
Pinterest tags. Right? Is that what you said? Teresa? Did we lose audio? I think I lost the audio here. Hold on. Can you hear me, Teresa? Can you hear me in the headphones? Hold on. We might have lost Teresa here. But maybe not. Maybe we lost. Teresa, can you hear me? Oh, she's typing. I sent her a message. She's typing back. No, lost you completely. Oh, okay. I see you. Hey, Teresa. Are you back? I think Teresa's gone. But then she came back. Hey, Teresa.
Yeah.
Can you see Teresa? Yeah. Sorry about this, guys. We're just experiencing some technical difficulties. Our guest, Teresa Rose, we have lost her, but we want to bring her back.
No, I can't see her, Jacob.
All right. I'm going to try something. I'm not sure what's going to happen. All right, we're back. Oh, you were here. All right, Teresa, I see you now. I can see you. I see.
Okay, good. So I went out and came back in, and it looks like it lost connection there. Sometimes BeLive does that periodically.
Why did they do that? It's terrifying.
Yeah, somehow they lose connection. There's things that get lost in there. Yeah, kind of a problem, but we're back.
All right, Teresa Rose back. Teresa, you've spent some time with us. There's no doubt about that. You have contributed some amazing insights. I'm 100% confident that if somebody has watched this up to this point from the beginning, they would guaranteed learn something new. I can't imagine them not learning something new out of all this. Even somebody who's using Pinterest. So just to ensure, we want to lock that in. Can you share with us some, just, I mean, you have like thousands of tips. What is a Teresa Rose special tip that you can give us right now regarding Pinterest?
Keywords is the name of the game, whether it is organic or promoted. Test thousands of keywords. That means thousands of pins. If you really want to move the needle forward, that's what it is. But it's well worth it because the pins last for an entire lifetime, for years and years and years. You do not have to keep paying in order for you to get something from that. So what I mean is, even if you run a promoted pin campaign, on average, you will see an increase extra on top of what you pay by 30% of clicks and saves, and possibly even within that, that's going to lead you to some conversions. That is all an extra bonus that's included. Why? Because when you pin anything on Pinterest, other people save it, and they save it into their own account and their own board. When that happens, Other people see that pin in the smart feed, in the search engine. And guess what? More people save it into their boards, and it just keeps going and going and going. So that's why you will see, even if you are paying for promoted pins, you'll see on average a 30% increase organic. So doing promoted pins can actually increase your organic reach as well on top of that, because of just the user interaction of people saving pins, and then it gets thrown out to the smart feed where other people discover it, and then they save it. And when they save it, it's thrown out to the smart feed again. Other people see it, they save it. It just keeps going. That's why you can never truly turn the switch off on a pin. And it can, if it starts to die and become less popular, it can pop right back up to life at any time.
Did you just say the smart feed?
That's what the Pinterest search engine is called, the smart feed. Yep.
Is there a way to, like a technique to encourage ad-free viral pinning?
Viral, when you say that, you have to get an understanding of what typically happens to the viral pin. It's usually not the pins that you're pinning. It's the pinners that your readers or shoppers, what they're doing, the activity that they're doing. That's what tends to go viral. But in order to get them to discover you, you got to do the pinning first. Then they discover your brand, they go over to your site. When they pin from your site, those are the ones that typically go viral. So if you want to know how to increase your organic reach and you want to try and move that forward a little bit faster and easier, that's the fast traffic methods inside of the course.
Okay, here's a different kind of question. Is there a way for me to create some kind of a visual map of where it got pinned? So you were mentioning like somebody sees your pin, they love it, they pin it, and then two of their friends see it and they pin it. And then each of those people have, go to a party and talk about it, and half their friends pin it, and now you have like 100 pins, right? Is there a way to visually see the path that was taken or who was pinning that?
No.
Is there a way to search within Pinterest to find out who's pinning whose things?
You can do a keyword search to see if your pin is popping up in the smart feed. And if so, how far do you have to scroll down? You can take that same keyword phrase that you were testing and do a Google search. It takes about 2 to 3 months for Google to index, because it's also a search engine. If it is giving you a ton of traffic, you don't know where it's coming from, check Google. Google may have indexed it. That's even better yet.
Google indexes pins.
And boards.
And Google indexes boards.
From Pinterest. Yeah, they love it. Yep. So if you play your cards right, you're going to get some great traffic from both at the same time.
All right. Teresa.
That's going even deeper yet, but that is all included in the fast traffic method, is actually doing your search, your research to figure that stuff out.
That's module 3, fast traffic.
Yeah. That's where you need to spend all your time.
All right. Fast keyword research, fast pins cheat sheet, fast pins workshop. And it's all on video, right?
Yep.
And spreadsheets.
No, there's not spreadsheets in the fast traffic method.
But there's spreadsheets in the course.
Yes. So when we get into diving real deep into analytics, I will provide materials to help you track. You can start tracking pins. If you want to track pins, you can start tracking your overall results for growth, so that you can make it, you can be able to see, is what I'm doing working or not? Am I growing my traffic or not? And if so, by what percentage am I growing my traffic every single month? If you don't grow traffic for 1 month, so August is notorious for that, you might want to look back of August the previous year to see where you were at, and then compare the difference in those numbers. And you may see that you still grew 100% in traffic growth between August last year and August this year. And then you realize, well, even though and when I compare it to July, it looks like the traffic's down. If I look back from a year ago, wow, that's a huge difference. So it's still worth my time to continue doing this.
Teresa, here's a different kind of thought. Google has Google Trends, and I can go back and type in a keyword, for example, and I can see over time, when is this keyword popular? It's very nice for seasonality, seasonal listings, new designs, planning ahead, right? With Pinterest, is there some sort of Pinterest trends? Like what has trended in the past on Pinterest in terms of interest or repins?
In the past, no, but you can discover that information when you're doing your keyword research. You can figure out what is trending, what's popular. Yep. And when you know that information
now, or what's trending in the past, because I want to know what's trending in November 2019.
November.
Like by looking at November 2018, 17, 16, I can kind of guess. People tend to do the same type of things, right?
No, when you're talking about a trend, you're talking about a trend that's happening right now. So this is a live search engine, and it is what's happening right now. What is popular right now?
But can I see what was popular in the past?
You can't put a filter on the search engine to say, I only want to search your search engine for November of 2018, and that's it. And you can't do that. You can't do that in Google either, unless you go to a special section called Google Trends.
That's what I'm asking. So does Pinterest have any kind of equivalency to that, where you can see what has been popular before?
No.
Is there external tools that show that kind of popularity?
No, but I'm not sure it's going to help you. Because what was popular in November of 2018 may not be popular this year. What you need to find out is what is popular right now. But you can tell over time when you are tracking your keywords, you're tracking pins, you're seeing what works and what doesn't. You typically know that in November, my board for Thanksgiving is going to go wild. And I've done a great job with that board so that my traffic will spike up every single year. Will that traffic do well in February? No, not from my Thanksgiving board, but it will during that season, during that time period. So what you do is you create a variety of boards so that you can tap into different trends, seasons, events, all kinds of stuff, and that helps to bring your traffic up all throughout the year.
This is fascinating. Okay, so Teresa, you're going to be one of the guest speakers on the 30-day Etsy challenge.
Yes, I'll be in there.
For a day, right?
For a day. From my understanding, it will be for a day. And if you need help in there, you can definitely ask questions and I'll be able to answer them.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. I don't have enough information at this point to know what exactly people are looking for, because they're all going to be in different stages in this Etsy challenge.
Yeah.
From what I understand, there's going to be some people who are just setting up their Etsy store, and there's others who are seasoned pros and they want to take it to the next level, and they just need that extra push to do it. So it's going to depend on, for someone who's beyond the beginner stages of set up my Etsy store, they're ready for marketing, so they're ready to go. They're ready to do some brand building, and then I can help them a little bit easier. But for those who are just newbies setting up their store, they're probably going to be putting their attention and focus first on just the mechanics of getting things up and running.
But the Pin Traffic Mastery course, you know that one pretty good.
I know it very well.
It's your course, right?
Yep, I've created it.
And this Thursday, you're going to be talking about promoted pins, right?
That's right. I'm doing a live workshop.
Will that live workshop be available outside of the Pin Traffic Mastery course?
I am thinking about it, yes. I am thinking about offering the recordings available to people outside of the Pin Traffic Mastery course, where they have a chance to purchase it and get some kind of learning. So if there's only one section or one part that you're interested in, or maybe you just want to take one step, there are some things I'm going to be offering. It's all included in the Pin Traffic Mastery course, but I'm going to start offering it, different parts of it outside of it, to give people a chance to take some kind of step forward, so that when you are ready to fully commit to your business, you could get the full program. From there, you've got your monthly live workshops for free for the lifetime of the course. You get the lifetime updates, you get everything. So it may be at that point, you know, once you start testing some things and working on it, then you're ready for it. You say, yep, okay, let's dive in. But right now, you may not be ready for it. You may say, you know what, I think I want this workshop because that's what's going to help me right now. And I can focus on that. So I'm just going to purchase that for right now.
Or let me ask you this. Would somebody, in your opinion, find the most value in taking the pin traffic mastery course?
Or buying all the individual products?
Yeah.
Or buying the products individually that are automatically included in it?
I mean, because you said before that order is important, right? So
yeah,
let's say I'm excited and I'm all pumped up and I want to buy the pinned, you know, promoted pins section, but I let's just hypothetical person here doesn't know about how Pinterest works or what it is or what to do. I mean, wouldn't it make more sense for them to do all of the modules and find out exactly,
it would
get it set up properly?
It would, but not a lot of people think that way. They just want one part, or maybe they've already know some stuff and they think that's enough. So I just want to move to this section. So it depends on where you're at. There are some people who they're all in different levels in their Pinterest marketing game. There could be some who are really seasoned pros and they're only looking for certain things and that's it. If you are a beginner, you really need to start with a full program, if at all possible, so that you can move through it systematically and build your business systematically. Be strategic about it instead of just randomly trying to work on stuff. But I understand that, I mean, there is a payment plan available as well to help with different budgets. But many people they're just sort of tapping their toe in the water. They're kind of just trying some things before they fully invest themselves, not just money-wise, but time-wise.
Yeah.
So they just need something sometimes to try and then make a decision. I think we can move forward with this now because something is working. So that is going to give you a little bit more confidence to get into the program. In the long run, it would probably be more affordable for you to just go get the program, go get the full program. But
and if they do that, they can save $200 off it, right?
It would be a lot cheaper and affordable for you to just do that rather than buying things separately. But hey, you know, it's trying to be accommodating for where you're at because everyone is in different places.
All right. Teresa, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know it has not been a short call because you just have like an unlimited amount of information. I don't know how you contain it all. But I like to do this at the end of my calls, and you've been on a call with me before, so you may have experienced this, but this is the end of call recap.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is you see these little pop-ups, that says Pinterest on the live show right now, and this one says Teresa Rose, and this one says about Teresa Rose, right? I've been making these little titles as you're talking about things, just to keep track of it, so people are, you know, remembering what you're saying or seeing what you're saying while you're saying it. Mm-hmm. And so I've got them all, and so far, normally there's like 20, 23, 25, 30. You've given 109 different titles.
Oh.
You've been dishing out a lot of information on this call. So
are you going to make people sit through all 109?
Yeah, because it goes fast. So I'm just going to read them out. It doesn't take very long.
Oh, wow.
So it's probably going to be about 2 minutes of me just explaining what this call was about. Just in case when people like to skip to the end, they're like, what happened here? I don't have 2 hours. I just want to see what happened. Mm-hmm. And then they see that and they're like, oh yeah, I see that. Okay. And then they go back and watch the video, which is good because it's recorded. Even though it's a live video and we have like extremely low live video viewers at this time I have no idea why. It is live, right? Tara, is it live?
Yep.
This is live. Do you want to make a comment or something? We got Kristen says hi. I'm not seeing in the live comments. So maybe I'm just not seeing the comments, but.
Well, hopefully it's because they've got their head down and they're working extremely hard right now because we're moving into Q4.
That's
and they're
true.
really, really pushing forward.
Whatever the reason is, we're going to go through the recap. Are you ready, Teresa?
Let's go for it.
Okay, and we're not going to sit and discuss these things because we just spent lots of time giving out the exact stuff. So we're just going to go through them. All right, so we started out. This is the recap, guys. This is Teresa Rose. Okay, Teresa Rose is the creator of the PIN Traffic Mastery full curriculum, which is part of her company, which is PIN Traffic Power. And we talked about Pinterest, of course. We talked about Teresa Rose. We talked about teaching Pinterest marketing. And then we talked a little bit more about Pinterest marketing itself. We talked about solving problems, eliminating distractions, a bit of history. You've had 16 years of teaching experience, and including online teaching. In fact, you have video courses. One of them is the PIN Traffic Mastery. And we talked about some of the things that are included there, like promoted pins. But the course itself is $799 US. But if you want to pay less money, not everybody wants to pay less money, but if you want to pay less money, you can use the code topping200 for $200 off. And that's good until Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that code will expire Thursday of this week. And today is Monday.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years in the making. There are not just one module, but there are many modules. The modules and the ones that are being added, if somebody enrolls in the course now, they get grandfathered in. We call them the grandfathers. You want to do testing and tracking. There's included spreadsheets. Basically, Teresa, you are Pinterest. So Teresa's Pinterest. We talked about getting cost per click under 20 cents per click. So if somebody's selling on Amazon and they're paying like more than $1 per click, you may want to use Teresa's techniques to lower your cost per customer acquisition on your clicks to like 1/5 of that, save 80% or more of the money. Could be worth quite a lot if you're running ads. Convert many types of conversions. We talked about CPC, cost per click, conversion campaigns. Be very specific here. Conversion campaigns need 50 conversions to start a campaign. Not something that everybody would know. Campaign objectives. We talked about split testing, A/B split testing, about letting it run for 14-day runtime or runtimes. Pinterest to Amazon. So especially valuable if somebody's selling on Amazon, if they're doing private label or wholesale, because all of a sudden traffic to your listing versus everybody else's is super important, hyper competitive. Automatic versus manual cost per click and search and keywords. Amazon versus Pinterest. We talked about the Amazon cost per click. Again, often can be $1 or more per click versus Pinterest at 20 cents or less is kind of what can happen. We talked about 8 methods of research. I believe that was keyword research, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pinterest analytics, we covered that. We talked about Pinterest connecting to Etsy, why that is a super good deal, especially good deal, and I'm very excited about that. Don't pin blind. We talked about blindness. We talked about knowing what works. We're talking about the fast traffic, which is a module and gives you fast traffic, including cheat sheets. And we had a little conversation around cheat sheets and checklists, steps, keywords tested, group calls, results. It depends, right? Because not everybody's at the same spot, so the results are going to depend. Case studies. We talked about business to business versus business to consumer, targeted keywords, the organic method, which is just one of 8 different methods that you teach in the course. We talked about promoted pins. We talked about order being important and how exactly you set up your Pinterest. It is important and will make effects. Pinterest is a search engine. Reducing your costs. Pinterest understands, literally can see your images. Product pins. No short links. Don't use short links on Pinterest. No cloaked links, does not like that. Useful links. Okay, so we talked a lot about links. Minimum pin sizes. Can you clarify that again? Minimum
1,000 by 1,500 pixels is where it's at this year.
So a minimum size of the image?
1,000 by 1,500 pixels is the current recommended pin dimensions by Pinterest. It changes every year.
When it changes, what happens to the old pins? Do they? You said they're forever, right?
They keep going, yes, but the creative best practices are updated every year, at least once, if not twice. It depends on how many times they do algorithm changes. There were 2 major ones last spring, and then they updated their creative best practices and said 1,000 by 1,500 pixels now. That's what's going to help your pins be optimized in the smart feed. So it's part of their algorithm changes.
Okay, good. So you're current on this stuff, and people will get the current information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Reads text on pins. We talked about text overlays. We talked about keyword phrases. We talked about no competition keywords.
Right.
I bet you that's a lot of interest. People are like, it'd be nice to have a keyword with no competition, right?
Yeah. If it's a search engine, that's ideal. Yes.
Okay.
Move away from your competition.
300 million active users. Pinterest IPO. It's PIN. Just happened, 2019, very current. More women than men on the Pinterest, but men are signing up to 40% of the signups are men. That's good. I was assuming that it was lower before. Is that why that's a good thing?
The last probably since 2016, that's what the research has been reporting so far, is an increase of men continually signing up to the Pinterest platform. They just don't talk about it.
It's like the secret men of Pinterest.
Well, I mean, men don't want to talk about it. Why? Because there's a lot of women who are using the platform. So if they use it, but they just don't talk about it.
I enjoy things that women enjoy,
like eating cookies, right?
Yeah, eating cookies, all kinds of stuff. Walking the dog.
Right.
Men and women can enjoy all kinds of stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, we talked about women ruling the world. We talked about sharing pins. Then we got into pin codes. Pin codes is very interesting. Pin codes on packaging. Repeat buyers. I mean, repeat buyers is good if you want to make money selling things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Buy
so if you sales funnels.
Okay. Brand loyalty. We talked about offline to online conversions. We talked about Pinterest, the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Rich pins. Metadata. This is metadata from other connected integrations pulling in the information to your pins. Claim your Etsy account. How to connect your stores. We talked about the integrations that are there with external large sites like Instagram, Etsy, and YouTube, but also your own website. So you can connect your website, your Instagram account, your Etsy account, and your YouTube account using your username and password from those external sites to Pinterest, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was very good. And it's especially interesting that Etsy's there. All right, blog posts. We talked about microwaving your traffic. So you would cold traffic, warm, medium warm, a little hotter. I mean, just nuke it. Nuke your traffic. Put it in the microwave. Just radiate it.
Yeah.
Affiliate products you can do on Pinterest. Pinterest plus Etsy. We talked about the direct Etsy integrations. Rich Etsy pins. Pinterest tags. Pinterest tags are like Facebook Pixel, right?
Yep.
Then we had severe technical problems where we be right back. We lost Teresa, but you're back, which is good. It's a live video, so that's fine. We had a special tip that you gave people, and I'm not going to reveal it. You'll have to go back and watch what we talked about. We talked about pins lasting forever. You know, there's a James Bond movie title. It's Diamonds Last Forever. This title sounds like that. Pins last forever. Not just diamonds. So I'm thinking James Bond, Pinterest.
Yeah, it could be DeBoers, that company that is famous for their diamonds.
That's true. Maybe it's not a James Bond movie. Maybe I've lost my mind. Who knows?
I'm thinking that's their tagline.
Okay. You're right. You know, I don't know. I
think it's part of their tagline for a brand that they had. Maybe one of many taglines that they've used for their brand.
All right.
Yeah.
Added bonus pins, viral pinning, the smart feed. I like the smart feed idea. Shoppers go viral. We talked about smart keyword searches. Google.
Diamonds are forever. James Bond.
Oh, okay. I just got confirmation. Diamonds are forever.
Good.
Is the James Bond movie. Pins last forever and diamonds are forever. Very, very similar. Not quite exactly the same though. All right.
No.
Smart keyword search. We talked about Google indexing your pins. That's why Tara is here. She just keeps me in check. She's like, yeah, you haven't lost your mind. You remembered it. It was different. It's all good. Google indexes boards and pins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tracking pins. We talked about traffic growth. What is popular now? We talked about seasonal popularity. The 30-day Etsy challenge. You're going to have a whole day on the Etsy challenge.
Mm-hmm. I'll be in there.
For people that join the 30-day Etsy challenge. I'll put a link to that in the comments because somebody might want to join the 30-day Etsy challenge. I'll be on that challenge. And you're going to be there talking to me and all the other people that join the challenge. Hundreds of people.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about promoted pins and being strategic. Okay. Final thoughts. Any final thoughts, Teresa?
No, just do something now. That's all I can say. We've had all of these thoughts, so
we've had enough thoughts, right?
My brain is wearing out of thoughts for the time being.
All right.
Just do something. Take action, do something.
Do something, take action.
Mm-hmm. That's the only way to build your business.
I absolutely agree. So if you want to do something and take action and you're looking for something to do, you could join the 30-day Etsy challenge using the link below, or you could join the Pin Traffic Mastery course, also a link below. And if you want to save $200, use the code that was provided there as well. It's topping 200, and it's good until Thursday.
Great.
All right, Teresa, thank you very, very much for coming on. I know that these live calls, they can be long and they take a lot of energy and they take time, but it's important that people kind of know what's out there, right? Kind of get some information, get to know people a little bit. I feel like I know you more now than I did 3 hours ago. And we haven't had a live chat in like more than a year.
Half a day ago.
That's true. That's true.
Right?
Yeah. So, all right. Any closing things? A message?
No.
Message from Teresa Rose?
No more closing thoughts. Nope. I need to get my lunch ate before it's supper.
Okay. You haven't had lunch yet?
No.
Do you run?
We started this during my lunch hour. So.
Are you hungry?
Yes, very.
Okay. All right. Teresa's gonna go eat lunch, and thanks for joining. Stay on for a second here. I'm gonna end the broadcast so Facebook doesn't lose it, and then we'll chat later.
All right.